Well, all that bad talk about Grant a few weeks ago, it's going to turn around. He's on the move, and I think the Mississippi might be ours in the very near future. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, it's my birthday week. Slightly delayed because our news is really running behind lately, but bear with us. We'll catch it back up as we go on. But it's May 8th. The week's going to begin.
Birthday week.
Yeah, it's my birthday week, yeah. Week's going to begin, and it's good news for my birthday because as I'm celebrating my birthday, Lincoln is going to celebrate it by announcing that just because you aren't a U.S. citizen doesn't mean you can't be drafted.
Oh, wait. Hold. Who's he? So who's getting drafted then? Just
any.
Do you have to be living in the United States? Or
well, yes, yeah, you have to be. Yeah, you can't.
Oh, okay, he can't just go.
He can't like go to Canada and like.
Or anything.
No, he can't do that. But if they're in the United States, you very much can be drafted, whether you're a citizen or not. So.
Great.
Yay.
So how? Okay, but all right.
On the 9th, Traitor President Davis is going to put Joseph E. Johnson in command of all the troops in the Mississippi, which to him I say good luck, because it's not looking so great on the Mississippi right now. As Grant is going to continue to move his troops even closer to Vicksburg, he is going to engage in a skirmish outside of Utica, Mississippi. On the 10th, Johnny, a present for my birthday week, so to speak, General Stonewall Jackson is going to die of pneumonia from being shot by his own troops last week.
So,
takes him a little bit, but he's now dead.
We got him.
Pneumonia. We got him. And by we got him, I mean your own men got you for us because we couldn't do it.
He got him.
But
he got him. That's fine.
Hey, Johnny, an own goal in football still counts as a goal. And as I said that, I don't know if football is a sport that exists yet or not, but we're going to say it does. Doesn't matter.
Football.
Football. Yeah, football. Just south of Frederick, Johnny, near Guinean Station, Jackson, like I said, he's going to die. He's going to succumb to pneumonia, which he contracted after his amputation. The South is also going to lose its basically they lose their most effective general up to this point of the war. But the soldiers of the South shouldn't really mourn this because the dude averaged like just under 50% casualties in every battle that he had. So if you're a Southerner that was underneath his command, you're like, "Foo! Dodge that bullet," so to speak. Boo, boo, boo.
Well, yeah, I don't have to dodge the bullets that I would have had to if he remained in charge. Yeah. On May 11th, Johnny, Secretary of Treasury Chase, he's going to once again put in his resignation as he isn't happy after he got into an argument with the cabinet over recent appointments. Basically, he didn't like the new cabinets who they were trying to appoint to new positions. So he said, had his little hissy fit and said, "I'm going to resign." And Lincoln said, "Nah, not allowed to." Again, not letting people
who don't want
out
the
of a job, not letting them quit, forcing people into jobs they don't want. This guy just, he's great. He's just great. Good guy.
Union Cavalry is going to raid the New Orleans and Jackson Railroad at Crystal Springs, Mississippi. And Johnny, some battle news here, so to speak. U.S. Grant is going to engage Confederate forces near Raymond, Mississippi on the 12th, just 15 miles from Mississippi's capital. Confederate forces at Raymond, underneath Brigadier General John Gregg, will attack Union forces underneath Major General John Logan. The battle is only going to last several hours until the Confederates realize that they are heavily outnumbered and probably shouldn't have attacked and begin to retreat. Both sides are going to lose around 500-ish casualties each. This fight, in addition to skirmishing that Sherman's forces were doing near 14 Mile Creek, convinces Grant that Jackson, Mississippi needs to be his target to knock them out before he can take out Vicksburg. Knock out Jackson, takes out the entire supply for Vicksburg, or at least the majority of the supply for Vicksburg, frees up Vicksburg for siege in the future. Grant is going to go ahead and begin those moves towards Jackson on the 13th when he marches the McPherson's and Sherman's commands to Jackson, while McClernand is going to move north to Clinton. Johnson could only muster about 12,000 men at Jackson, so he is outnumbered around 2-1 at this point. And meanwhile, out east, Hooker has been asked by Lincoln to return to Washington if he wasn't too busy. Like, hey, if it's not an inconvenience after getting your ass kicked, can you please stop by Washington?
So Jackson is
the city.
The only way into Vicksburg, or like the main hub?
No, it's the main railroad hub going into Vicksburg. It's their main railroad hub.
So if we get that, we stop basically any sort of supply chain they might have.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Trader President Davis is going to get a concerning letter from Governor Vance of North Carolina stating that Confederate soldiers were deserting in large numbers. He cites homesickness, fatigue, lack of supplies, lack of furlough, and the inability to enter regiments of their own choice as causes for the mass desertions. So Trader President Davis now has desertions to deal with on top of Mississippi being under ever more increased threat.
Now,
and Johnny, this
hard to believe that these boys wouldn't want to fight with the types of conditions that they've been provided. I mean,
right?
They had food at some point. They were given some ammunition. Some of them had guns even.
Some did, yeah.
They had, dozens of pairs of shoes distributed
Dozens of
amongst
pairs of
the
shoes,
ranks?
yeah. Yep.
What are they complaining about? Now,
No.
soft.
But my good birthday news week, Johnny, is going to come to an end with Grant being victorious at Jackson, Mississippi. Sherman and McPherson are going to arrive to Jackson at midnight, find it mostly abandoned as Johnson's forces are going to withdraw because they have to. They're outnumbered 2-1, and he doesn't really have any supplies, so to speak, so Jackson's going to take what he can, or Johnson's going to take what he can with him out of Jackson. He does leave 2 brigades to delay Grant, which didn't delay Grant long because by noon, Grant had secured Jackson, Mississippi in all of its entirety. Confederates are going to lose about 800 men to the Union 300. And while all this is going on, Johnny, McClernand's forces are going to seize the rail line from Jackson to Vicksburg, cutting off Johnson's and Pemberton's army from each other. So now the Confederates, at least all the major forces that are in and around Vicksburg, have been cut in half, and they are separated and outnumbered each, and now we can, destroy one in piecemeal and destroy the next in piecemeal. Grant is going to move his army west towards Edwards Station to hopefully capture Pemberton's army entirely, and then focus on Johnson after that. But we're going to have to wait till next week, Johnny, to see how that all plays out. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you enjoy Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight. We talk about all kinds of fun things, like how most of our presidents were kind of not the most upstanding humans that you would have thought they were.